Hi friends, Caitlin Kuhn, the Energy Tuner. I wanted to do a quick video to talk to you about something really cool that I know other people have done. I think I'm doing it a little bit differently. I'm doing some generational clearing and work. I have a photo of my great grandma Fern, maternal side, and so I've been doing some clearing and balancing through the lines. So we're gonna start with Grandma Fern and it goes backwards and forwards. So this is a great way for me to work on myself, my mom, my grandma, my sister, and my great grandma who has long since passed. But I always make sure that I have energetic permission and that it's appropriate. Today's top priority, the issue title, which I'll teach eventually. I'll have a longer video and show you how I set up my sessions. But the title of this session is going to be, or was doused to be, Stages of Life, maturity. And then in parentheses, we've got generational. So this is, when I put in parentheses generational, it's a question that I've asked, like, is this an issue that is following through the generations that everybody's kind of dealing with? And, I get a yes. So that's how I know that it's generational. The title's interesting to me, Stages of Life and Maturity, because there's definitely a common theme in some of my family members where the life season transitions have been very difficult for some of us, where one season we get really like hooked into one season, then it's really hard to let go and go to the next season. And I feel like when you don't honor those cyclical time periods in your life, that's when you start to get hung up and you start to get caught up because you don't want to move on to the next thing, and then it just causes problems. And change is always hard for anyone, right? But it really resonated. And then maturity, there's some real maturity issues and maybe some over maturity issues. So I found the title really interesting and wanted to share. I mostly just wanted to showcase the power of these things, because some of the things that came up during the session was diabetes, kidneys, water mechanism, and spleen. So right away, do any of us outwardly have diabetes? No. But I think a lot of us are kind of teetering on the verge where we have a hard time utilizing our water. The insulin production isn't quite right, and there's a lot of hormone imbalance and a lot of fear in the kidneys. So I know that for myself, and then from my mom, my sister, my grandma, I can see, and then aunts and uncles, because this will translate down to the whole line. So these sessions are really cool because you're not just working on one person. In my case, I'm working on the 3 kids, and then, gosh, I don't even know, 6, 12, almost 20 grandkids of hers, and then great grandkids, and then great great grandkids, right? That's a lot. So you're clearing and imbalancing for a tree. And this session only took me probably 40 minutes, and you're just doing a small amount of work, but it will have really big lasting effect that is just really beautiful. And I find that every time I do a session, the family gets a little bit more harmonious. It's really interesting. This is all just a big experiment, right? Nobody knows for certain what's happening, but anyways, I just wanted to tell you about this. And then another thing that came up was bad mood. It actually came up through the paper doctor. If you guys don't have this system, you've got to get it and use it as a reagent because it's amazing. Super awesome. And then this is another modality. It's called Energy Medicine Symbols. It's a book. It's on Amazon. It's only like $13. And then you can download all these symbols for free or included. And this is amazing. I use them as reagents all the time. The one that came up for Grandma Fern was the fish, adaptability, capability to be a part of a group, and remain individual. Does that sound like stages of life and maturity to you? I mean, you just can't make these things up, right? The resonation is just amazing. Resonation. Is that a word? Did I just make that up? The other thing that came up was Ho'oponopono. But you know what's interesting? I have to ask Marty about this. So I potentized some homeopathics, some sugar pellets with the Ho'oponopono so that I could have it with me and just kind of pop it, and then just as an experiment to see, you know, can I help people this way? Because it's hard, you know, when you're out and about. Here, hold this reagent for 20 minutes. So I'm like, here, pop a couple of these. It's just homeopathy. It's just like full of love. That's what I tell them. And you can kind of see as things kind of calm down. But sometimes this comes up as a reagent instead of his actual reagent. And I wonder if maybe it's because it's less strong and it's just a little bit more subtle. I don't know. I'll have to ask him about that. I keep meaning to and I keep forgetting. And then peppermint, yin. Gotta add in the yin, right? Just a lot of good, interesting things. I guess I mostly just wanted to, I kind of lost my train of thought. I don't know where I was going with all that, but I just wanted to show that you can do a lot for your family with just a very simple little thing, you know. So you could do one small session once a month, and you're working on a huge chunk of your family tree. If you get maternal grandma, you know, or grandpa, either one, you know, you're gonna really get a big portion of your family, and you could do both sides, and then you're clearing out both you and your partner's a lot of life garbage. And I feel like, so after this, the last one that I did, listen to this, I'll leave it at this. The last one that I did, the session title was, I am a unique person. Apprehension, very upset, embarrassed, anguish, and deprivation. So on one hand, there's an affirmation, I am a unique person. And then there's all these very like almost negatively connoted words that I found that was like a really interesting juxtaposition of, I want to be great, but I'm also really afraid. And you know what's funny? I feel like since I've done this, so this was in May that I did this session. So I haven't been doing it as often as I should because the last session I did was in May. But how interesting, how much changed for me in that amount of time. I can see the change in my family. You know, it's so hard to explain. I mostly just want to encourage you, work on your family tree. All you need is one photo of one ancestor. And I felt mostly connected to Grandma Fern just from the stories. I feel like her and I would have really got on. So that's who I've been working with. But you can work with anyone. Just start. Anyways, sending you guys lots of love.